Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, just allow your eyelids to close. That's it. As you breathe in and breathe out, just position your body in a way that you're able to feel more comfortable. As you breathe in through your nose, just use the power of your imagination to imagine that you're breathing in a bright, vibrant color that represents resourceful relaxation. Maybe that's yellow or orange or a different color. And as you breathe that bright, vibrant color in, feel it going in through your nose into your lungs, giving you a feeling of resourceful relaxation. And as you exhale, just see and imagine a darker color leaving your body, almost like any tension, any stress, anxiety is leaving your body in your outward breath. Breathing in and breathing out, enabling your outward breath to be elongated, longer and deeper than it normally would be, so that on your next inward breath in, it's deeper than it was before. Feeling these wonderful, resourceful feelings of relaxation to go in, tension to leave, enabling you to feel deeper and deeper relaxed. I want you to use the power of your imagination to imagine a concrete block surrounding your head, almost like it's frozen in thick ice. It's transparent, but it's concrete. You can see through it. But I want you to get this sense of a heavy block of weight completely around your head, perhaps locking in your shoulders as well. And I want you to feel the heaviness of that weight. Somehow you're trapped, you're frozen, you're buried under the weight. And your unconscious mind, as you breathe in and breathe out, can decide what this represents. Maybe it's the expectations you have for yourself. Maybe it's the shame of the past. Maybe it's a feeling of restrictions, that there's so many things that you want to be and do and have, but can't. Maybe it's that you feel that you're not allowed. Maybe it's that you feel that you're not worthy enough to have them. So I want you to imagine the feeling of that weight, and I want you to imagine the weight gets heavier and heavier. That's it. And I want you to visualize it. Maybe you visualize it as a block of solid ice. Maybe you visualize it as transparent concrete. You can see through it, but it's there. The weight is there. The feeling of heaviness is there. But I wonder what would happen if we went all the way back to where this feeling came from. As you breathe in and breathe out, I want you to imagine, still with the weight of this big block surrounding your head, I want you to imagine there is a giant bubble. I want you to imagine that this giant bubble is able to take you backwards and forwards in time. So there, with this giant block around your head, imagine stepping into this bubble, feeling it float upwards, and to direct this bubble to take you all the way back to when you were a teenager, maybe just 13 or 14 years old, at a time where you were learning about yourself, but at a time before someone important to you had left. And I want you to imagine going all the way back in that bubble, hovering over different moments of your past, but also going back to a physical location. I want you to imagine going back to a house at the end of the road where the house connects to countryside. And I want you to land your bubble, maybe at the end of a garden, maybe in some countryside. And I want you to feel that You are invisible to anyone back then. You can see everything, but nobody can see you, and it feels safe to be invisible. It feels safe to be hidden. And I want you to walk around your old garden, walk around your old house. Remember some of the things that used to be there. Maybe a picture on a wall. Maybe some strange colour of carpet, curtains or wallpaper. Maybe you can remember some old furniture, the layout of that house. And I want you to imagine that you're going to go to your old bedroom. You're completely invisible. You can walk through walls or doors. And I want you to go back and I want you to see that younger version of you. A version of you with so much potential, not knowing what the future held. And I want you to see a version of you before core beliefs started to form about who you are and what's okay for you. Maybe you can see a version of you that at that point had that self-acceptance, had that feeling of being themselves. Or maybe you can see a version of you that already seeds were starting to be sown of trying to be someone they're not. I want you to see that old bedroom. Maybe remember the bed, the desk, the chair, the chest of drawers. And see that version of you there. And I'm going to count down from 5 to 1. And when I arrive at 1, you're no longer going to be invisible, you're going to be visible. So you're gradually going to go from invisible to visible in that same room. 5, feeling deeper relaxed. 4, feeling you in the present is there in the past. And then 3, starting to feel the weight of your body there standing in that room. 2 and then 1, just feel like you are now there in the present. And I want you to see a shocked face, a face that is surprised, a younger version of you wondering why there's this man in their room. I want you to reassure them. Tell them that you know it sounds crazy, but you are them from the future. Of course they don't believe you. But your advantage is that you are that same person from you in the past. And I want you to share things that only you could know with that younger version of you. A secret they didn't tell anyone. An experience that only they would know about. And as you share these things, you see their facial expression change. Partly disbelief, but partly realizing that there is a future version of themselves in their same room. And to begin with, I just want you to listen. I want you to ask the question to that younger version of you. What are they facing right now? What are they worried about? What problems do they have to deal with? Not to give solutions, but just to listen. You're building rapport, you're building a connection with that younger version of you. When you feel that the rapport is there and you feel that there is a connection between you of the present and that younger version of you in the past, just let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to share some of the things you remember going through back then. Friends that weren't really friends. Things that felt like such a big deal back then. Tell them that you know they have questions, they know they have thoughts. And share those thoughts with them. And then what I want you to do is I want you to tell this younger version that their life will change, that certain things that they've probably picked up on will lead to a chain of events where the future changes. And I want you to share what those things would be, taking out any future shock, surprises. Tell them what happens in the family environment. Tell them what happens with you and the evaluations you make about yourself. Tell them that a time will come where a choice needs to be made. A choice to hide, a choice to be small, to be hidden, to be someone you're not, or an opportunity to claim and discover an identity, to be true to who they are. I want you to share the information of what follows. And maybe there's some resistance, maybe there is a refusal to accept certain things. And just listen. No judgment, no coercion, just listen. And you know back then that there is a resource that you needed. Maybe that resource was courage. Maybe that resource was self-acceptance. Maybe that resource was permission to just be yourself. And I want you to imagine you're giving whatever resource that younger version of you needed most in that moment. You can picture it as a glowing ball of energy. You're giving that 13, 14-year-old version of you whatever they needed most in that moment. And they accept it. And you can see them taking that glowing ball of energy, placing it on their chest, their heart, absorbing whatever that resource is. But they also have something for you. Back then when you were 13 or 14 years old, there was a resource that you had in abundance that you've lost connection with. And you don't have to know what it was. Just know that there was a version of you in the past that you'd like to reconnect with. So imagine that younger version of you giving you a different color, a glowing ball of energy that you need right now. Take it, place it on your chest. Feel that energy being absorbed into you. And you can already start to hear the sound of tiny cracks, almost the fractures, as you accept that whatever this heavy block is around your head is starting to almost break from the inside. If there's a big block of ice, it doesn't just disappear immediately. All those micro fractures from the inside look like nothing is happening, and then the whole thing shatters. But for now, you can just hear those tiny cracks as you absorb that energy from within. And then I want you to imagine stepping into that version of you being 13 or 14 years old with all the knowledge you have now and all the resources that you would have wanted in that moment. And I want you to imagine going through the next crucial months in this highly resourceful version of you full of self-acceptance, a bring-it-on attitude, a refusal to be anyone else other than you, to not hide away, to be completely authentic, to be the version of you you wanted to be but felt that you couldn't be, to believe that you are good enough, that you accept yourself entirely. And I want you to imagine how you would feel being that version of you. Imagine going to school, feeling that you can be 100% yourself, that you can dress the way you want to dress, that you can talk the way you want to talk, that you can do the things that you want to do. You can be playful, fluid. And I want you to imagine all the way back then, maybe you were 13, 14 years old, but there was an opportunity, maybe a school disco, maybe a dance. But I want you to imagine that you're in that situation, not as the version as you were, but as the version you always wanted to be, feeling good enough, feeling worthy, feeling that anyone's judgment is their problem, not yours. And I want you to imagine being in that place, dancing as silly or as crazy or as authentically as you would have wanted to. And as you do that, I want you to imagine you can hear the shattering of glass, the shattering of ice, the shattering of concrete. That this big heavy weight that you've been walking around with for so long just feels like it's just fragments there on the floor. And if you feel like it's possible for you to tap into that feeling of being worthy and accepting yourself, let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to imagine what the chain of events would be that follow. Some people would try and test your self-acceptance. Bullying words, criticisms, mocking. But I want you to get the sense that that increases your resolve of self-acceptance. And I want you to notice that that tension you used to have around your shoulders relaxed. You were able to make more genuine friendships. Some people gravitated away from you, but other people gravitated towards you. That courage, that self-acceptance. Just imagine a chain reaction from being a teenager all the way through your life, all the way to the present. And I want you to think how difficult it would be to constantly compare yourself to other people, to need the validation of other people when you gave yourself that validation. You gave yourself permission to be yourself. Just imagine you could see other people with talents, with skills, and you would feel good for them. Imagine hearing a compliment and it feels good, but you can give compliments. I want you to feel that whatever was deeply embedded has lost its roots, just floats away now. There was no feeling of abandonment. There was an acceptance that people have issues, people deal with things in their own way. That maybe in the past you didn't deal with things in the ideal way and other people will do the same. That your own self-acceptance leads to more acceptance of other people. There is the law of the lid. You can't accept other people more than you accept yourself. You can't love anyone else more than you love yourself. So feel that your own self-acceptance, your own self-love, your own worthiness is overflowing, not just at 100%, but overflowing beyond that. Therefore, there is no limit to your ability to accept or love or acknowledge or respect anyone else, because all of that exists within you. Imagine those key milestones throughout your teenage years and feel that that was the right choice. That self-acceptance is the antidote to shame. That cultivating the qualities in you means you don't need the validation of other people. That you can work on yourself, not to be good enough, but just because you like growth and you like to learn and you like your world to evolve. I want you to feel like you're returning to that old bedroom of childhood, and then leave that body, leave that child with all these feelings of acceptance and worthiness, but also feel that acceptance and worthiness within you. As you walk away after giving that younger version of you encouragement, a hug, tell them that they are loved, tell them that they are worthy, tell them that you are proud of them, and then leave. Leave, telling them that you will return, finding your bubble, but noticing that big heavy weight that's been weighing you down for so long is just not there anymore. Going back into the bubble, going forward in the future, seeing key milestones in your life where you're seeing a confident version of you full of self-acceptance, being authentic throughout these key moments in your life all the way up to the present. Leave the bubble, step into your own reality in this moment right now, taking all those feelings of worthiness and self-acceptance with you, feeling a big heavy weight has been lifted, like a sledgehammer, a wrecking ball has shattered that big heavy weight that you've been carrying around for so long, with a feeling that the future will be different, positive now, that a door that was closed is now open. And for the next few days and weeks, you'll notice subtle changes, differences in your thoughts, evaluations, and comparisons. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Feel like you're completely connected here in the present. As I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you, you will awaken feeling resourceful, full of self-acceptance, a feeling of growing worthiness, and a desire to be more free. Starting to count 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.